Okay, stepdads, on today's episode, I want you to grab your partner and let them watch it because it's dedicated to them. Trust me, it's going to help.
This is the Professional Stepdad, a place where we share stories, strategies, and ideas for men just like you to help answer that one important question: how can I be a better stepdad?
Welcome back to the Professional Stepdad Podcast. I am your host, Franco Zavala. This is episode 6. It's going to be a quick one today. Today's show is going to be dedicated to your partner. Something that came up yesterday, a question that a gentleman sent me over Facebook, kind of prompted this this conversation that I'm going to have with you stepdads today. So again, stepdads, this conversation is for your partner. I highly recommend that you bring them in, you let them listen, you allow them to watch the show wherever you're watching or listening from. So the question and the conversation that I had with this gentleman yesterday on Facebook was about the he feels like he is not getting the attention that he needs, that he requires within the relationship in order to maintain a smooth sailing, in order to maintain that smooth sailing so he can be motivated and dedicated to wanting to move forward into the relationship. So this specific gentleman has definitely stepped up. Okay, he stepped up. He stepped into a situation that he was not prepared for, but that he was so in love with his partner that he knew that he wanted to be there, to be the man, to be the leader in the home. He moved states. He stepped up and stepped in, which is a feat in its own. It's an amazing feeling as a stepdad. It's an amazing feeling as a man, knowing that you are accepting the responsibility that is being given to you. So in his situation, he moved states. He's in the family. He's a stepdad to her daughter. And over the last, I think it was 6 months, maybe 5 months, he has noticed that all the attention is being given to not only their daughter, but all the attention has been given to like all the things that he needs to work on and what he needs to change, and the relationship that he has with his partner has gone from like real passionate, real loving to kind of just mediocre and maintaining, right? And when you step into this new family, because you're so, remember I'm speaking to the partners now, you're so focused on some major points in your life, which is, okay, I have to let this man in. He's gonna be the leader. He's gonna be the new man in this house. I don't want him to replace the bio dad, but at the same time, I want him to have authority, but not too much authority. And I want to make sure that our relationship stays nice and grounded and balanced. And at the same time, I've got to support him in his job and his work, whatever he decides to do, and also integrate him into this sometimes complicated web of scenarios that he's about to encounter, right? So this gentleman has been neglected. His need has been ignored. His needs have been ignored. And his needs have been ignored in several ways. Like the mom, the partner. So his partner, the mom, she is not recognizing and like getting behind her man on specific scenarios and something that's happened in the household. I don't want to say it's like punishment, but I think it's something real simple. I think it had to do with schoolwork. But he's trying to lay down some sort of a new principle, a new routine for his stepdaughter, so she can find success from a different way, his way of thinking. But the problem is that his communication with his partner is off, and because his communication with his partner is off, he says one thing, she says another. And because their relationship is still sort of new, the ball falls into mom's court, and no matter what he says, everything he said up in that point doesn't mean anything, because she didn't like get his back, right? She didn't have his back in that situation, which kind of took away his ability to be the leader that he wants to be. I mean, he's being stripped of not his manhood, but he's being stripped of his ability to be able to impress upon the family some routines that were going to be beneficial. And it's not that the mother doesn't want it and the stepdaughter is ignoring it. It's the fact is that the communication with him and his partner is so off that, again, one thing, the other, mixed signals, goes mom's way, and then she says stuff like, you should have talked to me about it. Well, I can't talk to you about it because we never get to spend time together anymore. We don't make time for each other. And then when the stepdaughter goes off to her bio dad's house, all the mom does while she's gone is worry about her daughter and the environment that he's in, talk about I think the bio dad has a new woman in his life. So talk about her and imagining all the negative, condescending things that she could possibly be being told by this other woman, complaining about the bio dad's and her past relationship, and putting all of her energy on she's holding on to the past so much that she is not able to move forward in the future of her new relationship because she's comparing everything to the old one, which leaves no time for him, by the way, which leaves zero time for this guy. So he feels like he's being neglected. He feels like I don't think it takes a lot for him to satisfy his needs emotionally, physically, spiritually. I don't think it takes a lot to satisfy the needs of us men, especially in the new families. But partners, listen, you have to remember that we are trying to overcome the narrative of being a stepdad. We're trying to overcome this perception that people have of us. And at the same time, show love and affection towards you. And at the same time, build a connection and trust with our stepkids that in return, we just need you to pay a little bit of attention to some of the things that we need, that we want, that we desire. And I'm saying that because I know a lot of you don't. I know a lot of you have great intentions. Partners, I'm not saying that you don't do it 100% of the time. I know your intentions are probably pure. You go into this new relationship with this new man in your life, partner, and your standard, I mean, you have these you know what you want and you have these goals and these dreams that you're going after. But as the relationship progresses, you guys tend to forget that he also needs you and that he needs somebody to listen to. I'm sorry, he needs someone to listen to him. He needs someone to tell him that he's doing a good job, and that doesn't mean praising him every day. That's not what I mean. It means just coming to a point where you can set a reminder on your Alexa or on your phone, or no matter what it is, just to simply say hey, I'm going to spend the next 2 minutes and pay attention to my partner. Just go listen to him. Ask him about his day. What is he up to? Can I do anything for you? Hey, I planned a date night. I want it to be a surprise. Listen, I saw what you were doing with my daughter last night or my son last night. And I want you to know that it's going to come in time. I've got your back. We're partners in this. But if you haven't built that partnership, if you haven't built that foundation of being a great team, then it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter because at the end of the day, if you haven't built the foundation as a team, when all shit hits the fan, you, partner, are going to retreat back into your comfort zone, which is keeping everybody away from your stepkid or away from your child, keeping everybody away, keeping them at arm's length, and you're not going to let anybody in because you don't trust. And you don't trust because you haven't built the partnership. And you haven't built the partnership because your communication is off. And your communication is off because you haven't taken the time to get to know one another, even though you think that you have. So I'm saying this to you guys because I want you to know that the stepdad in your life, the new man, the person in your life that has stepped up and stepped in, I want you to know that their intentions are pure and great and honest, and They want to be the very best that they could be, but they need you to pay attention to their needs and wants as well. And that doesn't mean bowing down and going out of your way. That just means the little thing. It's the tiny little things. And I'll give you an example of what I mean. On my Alexa, every hour, because I know my wife's emotional language, her love language is the physical touch. Every hour, my Alexa will go off, and no matter what I'm doing, my Alexa will go off and it'll say physical touch, which triggers in me, hey, go over to your wife and just give her a hug or brush by her with your hand. Something small, nothing big, but you'd be surprised at how much that fills her love tank up. It's surprised at how much it satisfies her needs. So I'm telling you to do that for him. Figure out what it is and do that for him. Set that little bit of time aside. Get your team on the same page so that when all shit hits the fan, when that shit hits the fan, that you guys go at it together as a partnership, not as individuals. Because the stepdads will lose in that circumstance every time. And it's not fair. Because especially for the stepdads that are their intentions are so honest and pure, but they feel like they're lost and alone because all the attention has been given to not only the transition to the kids, but then especially in quarantine time, all the time and effort is being spent on all the children, feeding them and making sure they're okay and doing their homework and keeping them busy. And why are you bored? All this stuff. Don't lose that little bit of time that you can spend with each other. Partners, for the stepdad in your life, I'm telling you, just try to pay attention to the small things and know that he needs you. He needs you, even if it's just coming into his office or his bedroom or wherever he works, or giving him a phone call, a little text, something to give him that boost of inspiration, that boost of love to know that he's in the right place. Don't make him do things out of the ordinary to get your attention. Okay, so and I'm going to wrap it up with this. So this gentleman that I was speaking about, he got into a fight and he left the apartment and he started walking. He fell down the stairs. He didn't kill himself, but he hit his head pretty hard. And he came back in, and remember, he had just gotten into an argument with his partner, and he came back in from falling down the stairs, and her daughter and her were laughing and playing a game on the floor, and it just irritated him. And it irritated him to the point because it's hello, I just fell down the stairs. Nobody gives a shit about what just happened to me. Why doesn't anybody care? His attitude went straight there. Now, I'm telling you now, he was wrong by doing that because they didn't see him fall down the stairs. How were they supposed to know that he fell down the stairs? When he came in the door, how were they supposed to know that something had just happened? So that's his fault and his insecurities for thinking that, hello, you guys, I just got hurt and nobody cares about me. But even though that's not his fault, he still has a little bit of a point. And the point that he's trying to make is, actually, it's not even a point. He's trying to tell you without even knowing, hey, there's not enough attention being given. You guys pay attention to me a little bit. Care about what I'm doing, I'm saying, I'm thinking. Show me just a little bit, just even a little bit each day that will build up. So his insecurities, when something like that happens, he's not going to be insecure when he comes through that door. And that's what it was. His insecurities and the fact that his communication is so off with his partner that he felt like that was a justifiable way to handle the situation, which wasn't. It was not justifiable at all. Because again, how were they supposed to know that he fell down the stairs? But it doesn't matter. If he had to go to that level of thinking, if that happened to him and he came in and he had to kind of get there and kind of get mad at them for not caring about what just happened to him, even though they didn't know, if that situation actually happened, it happened because something's missing. Something's missing on his end that he needs from you, that he needs from your stepkids, that he needs from the people in your life. Something's missing. And if that's happening to you, something's missing. You guys got to talk about it. You guys got to work on your communication. And that means building that partnership, right? So that's what today's show is going to be about. It's all about the fact that stepdads, we need the attention too. We need, even though we know we're not in this for trophies and awards, we still every once in a while just need to know that the effort that we're putting in can be seen, and the things that we're trying can be heard. That's it. That's all we want. So I hope you understand this, that the stepdad next to you is showing this to you right now because for some strange reason, they feel like they're missing that little bit. And this is a wake-up call to let you know, hey, he's not mad, he's not upset, he's not angry, he's not resentful, he doesn't want to leave. He just wants you to see this so you can be aware that it's there. Because I guarantee you, if the tables were turned and this video existed for you, you would want him to see it, right? Okay, this is episode 6 of the Professional Stepdad Podcast. I'm your host, Franco Zavala. Thank you guys so much for joining me again, and I will see you soon.